This video is sponsored by Grammarly. The year is 180 AD. As another long and difficult winter draws to a close, the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius lays dying in his bed at a military camp. 6 days prior, he was stricken with a fever. It's clear to him that he's in his last days. But to all present, Marcus is strangely calm, almost indifferent. He has been preparing for this moment most of his life. To learn how to die, according to the Stoics, is to unlearn how to be a slave. Aurelius was the last famous Stoic of the ancient world. However, the story of Stoicism began almost 500 years prior to his death with a shipwreck. A wealthy young merchant named Zeno of Citium was transporting his cargo of purple dye across the Mediterranean. His ship was caught in a storm. Zeno narrowly escaped with his life and washed ashore at a Greek port. He lost everything in this shipwreck and made his way to Athens, penniless. It's from such financial devastation, change of fortune, that the Stoic virtues were born. At least, that's how the story goes. Purple dye was the color of the nobles, and nearly 5 centuries after Zeno, Marcus Aurelius was still talking about dyeing things purple. He warned himself against dyeing his character with the royal purple and turning into a Caesar. Instead, aspiring to remain true to his philosophical principles, Aurelius indeed viewed himself as a Stoic first and an emperor second. I'm sure you've heard some about Stoic philosophy. I've actually made a few videos about it, even some comedy sketches poking fun at it, but I haven't really reflected on the Stoic virtues day in and day out, with no pause. It actually seems kind of difficult to live out the virtues of Stoicism because our life looks so much different than life back then. I have access to a pretty lavish life if I want it, and if I don't want to reflect on my ideals and how far away I can get from them, I don't have to. I can keep my mind occupied. But not for the next 30 days. For the next 30 days, I'm gonna do my best to live like Marcus Aurelius, to think like him, to reflect on the Stoic virtues, to take on some of the habits, but most importantly, to think about life's most bitter reality that we tend to ignore. The fact that we're all gonna die. I actually have a terrible fear of aging and dying, so this challenge is actually deeply uncomfortable for me, but that's exactly why I'm resolving to do it. I wanna see if on the other side of it I could find greater inner peace, better decision making, perhaps even increased productivity. Let's see what happens. Right, well, welcome to day 1. Actually, I woke up at 11 a.m. today. I'm not sure what's wrong with me. This is not the way to start off a challenge for a man as noble as Marcus Aurelius. Maybe it's because I've been just working out ever since I quit my job. I actually have started going to the gym, so maybe the body just needs more time to recover. Maybe I need to face the facts that I'm a little bit of a piece of shit. Who knows? This is not how I intended to start things off, but it is a Sunday. It's a perfect day to get back on track with things. I'm gonna just try to do as many productive things as I can. I didn't have time to journal or do my most important task of the day thus far. I'm actually a little bit scrambled, but I'm still gonna try to make the most of it, okay? Memento mori. I'm clearly gonna have a great death. Okay, so not the ideal first day, but it was honest. I still managed to save it by running some errands. Thomas came over, we put together some things. Days 2 to 6 were more on track.
पीछे इसके मैंने बैक सीट में रखा था वो तुम्हारा खाना.
As part of my morning routine, I started reading Ryan Holiday's Daily Stoic every day and using my calendar blocking app Sunsama. I began each day with a handful of tasks, prioritizing them, putting them on my calendar, and then, importantly, trying to reduce the number of tasks I do. After scheduling, I journal about what potential obstacles could show up in my day, and I get to work. I imagine that if I was thinking about my death every day, that it would make me want to take some dramatic action. But really what I've been finding these last few days is that I want to clean up the incompletes in my life. I want to deal with all the small messes, like the fact that I have like a messy prop closet. I don't really have like good management system of like my wires, all my filmmaking gear. I have a lot of clothes that I don't like to wear, so I'm gonna go to like Goodwill and donate a bunch of them. Just like the smaller things in life, I want to execute better on those. And I think it's because like every day I've been looking in the mirror, and I actually have been doing this. I've been like imagining my face getting old and decrepit and like a skeleton replacing my face. I've actually been doing this. And at night when I try to sleep, I sometimes imagine myself like an old man who's potentially dying. It feels terrible to be doing this, but also, you know, sometimes it makes me feel like, oh, I haven't done enough with my life, and I'm already 28, I'm about to be 29, like I'm getting old. On the other hand though, what it makes me feel like doing is like just executing on the smaller aspects of my life, like each day, and do a better job of that, as opposed to like all of the big dreams I have. It makes me not worry about the big dreams. I just want to do today right. So I don't know why I'm standing out here. It's kind of drizzling, but we're gonna go do a bunch of great things today, and we're gonna make today count. It's the end of day 7. I've been feeling more motivated to get and stay organized. I've been feeling like dealing with the incompletes in my life, like email, cleaning out the prop room closet, donating old clothes that I don't feel good in, and making my living space more pleasant. When was the last time you read something stoic?
Stoic.
This isn't exactly what I expected to be doing when I thought I would be thinking about my death every day. That's crazy.
Just, yeah, I'm 61.
What? You look great.
Yeah.
Damn. There are certain monikers that they say people don't crack of a certain caliber. I think you've embodied that truth.
Black don't crack.
Flat tire. I immediately, after 3 minutes of like poking around, because I don't know how to deal with things, Lincoln just came to my room.
Don't say that. Just say you don't know how to do a flat right. You know. Some people can do it, some people can't.
What's your name?
Lincoln.
Lincoln? Man,
Yeah.
I appreciate you, man.
Like the name of the president.
Of holy shit, I'm going to die is holy f***, I'm alive.
I started reading more about Marcus Aurelius. I read through an entire book called How to Think Like a Roman Emperor and rewatched a great lecture about the man. Also, one night after a particularly brutal boxing session, I watched Gladiator again. That movie is such a banger. What we can learn from all of this is that Aurelius was truly a remarkable man. In case anyone is wondering, I actually have been enjoying the outdoors more. I've decided now that October is my favorite month. I don't do it often. I mostly read off of like a Kindle or a Paperwhite, but I've been reading more often, like way more often, and I love this cooler weather. I like find a lot of peace at this park. Honestly, for the audio, I just have to hide behind here. Man, I'm loving this month. I have actually kept up with some of my disciplines in life way more. Just have not missed meditation for a while. The workouts are on point. My life isn't any grander or bigger. Like, I'm not any more quickly pursuing big goals. What I'm doing though is treating ordinary days with more significance. It's like more enjoying the small things. Oh yeah. Some of the most compelling footage we've gotten on Captain Sinbad here. A big thank you to Grammarly for sponsoring this video. Grammarly for Chrome is trusted by millions of users, business professionals, students, writers, bloggers, and YouTubers like me. In fact, I use them for every YouTube script I write and for sending emails. They've got a free version with basic grammar and spelling suggestions, but upgrading to Grammarly Premium will save you so much more time so that you can feel confident that your writing is professional and compelling. Grammarly works seamlessly and is easy to integrate into your daily life as a browser extension through Chrome, Safari, and Firefox. Save yourself time with Grammarly Premium's vocabulary vocabulary suggestions and make your writing more professional and compelling, using clarity suggestions to avoid repeating yourself and help get your message across, and lastly, a tone detector, which helps ensure that your tone is professional and compelling. Go to grammarly.com/CaptainSinbad to sign up for a free account and get 20% off of Grammarly Premium today. And every week I actually get an update from Grammarly saying how much I've used it and the fact that, it's helped me make my vocabulary stronger, my writing better, my language more concise. And this has helped me with video scripts. It's helped me when I'm sending out emails with any weight to them. It's one of those few products that I use every day, day in and day out. And so if you have any kind of writing involved in your life, you would definitely benefit from Grammarly, and Grammarly Premium in particular. So this is actually the final day of the challenge, and I can't tell you enough how game-changing it's been. I feel as if I don't have enough to show for this month, even though I did all of the disciplines that Marcus Aurelius would have done. I started each day early after the first day, and I had like a clear intention for each day. In fact, out of 30 days of this month, I actually spent 25 of them completing my highlight of the day. Like I knew it a week in advance, and I would complete it pretty early in the day. So often by like 2 or 3 p.m. at the end of each day, I would feel like really satisfied with my day, really pleased with myself. I also found that thinking about my death all the time, it really didn't feel too morbid after a little bit. For a while, it kind of freaked me out. The Stoics were also very well known for having like mental models of their own, like actual heroes who they would think about. Maybe Marcus Aurelius, he would think about people like Socrates and ask himself, what would Socrates do? And this whole month, I sort of asked myself, like, what would a great Stoic king do? Like, if today had perfect conduct, how would it be spent? And a lot of times what it was is that I spent each day enjoying the small tasks of that day. And there was a lot of great stuff that I put into place as well. It's just that, a month is not really long enough to see drastic results in your life. It's just enough to get going in the right direction. For instance, I have a strength coach now. I've been cooking like home cooked meals every day. I've been meal prepping. I got stronger on the bench press, the overhead press, and the squat. And it's not crazy. I went from like 135 on bench to 155. A lot of people who, exercise regularly would be like, oh, 155, that's pathetic. But yeah, I'm on the right track. I also, in the past would often be tempted to do things like tell white lies, drink, in the company of friends, I would maybe have one too many drinks every once in a while. And one thing I noticed that naturally happened is that I just didn't feel like drinking as much. I mean, I didn't like cut back and I was never like a heavy drinker or anything, but just this sensation of knowing I want each day to matter and I want to live each day carefully, like carefully with intention. And not in a way that was suffocating. I just felt motivated to make it count. Also, at the end of the day, as the Stoics would often journal and reflect on how they did that day, I spent each day asking myself, what did I do right? What did I do badly? What would I do differently? And despite being more intentional and maybe more serious, I spent more time with friends than ever before. I did like a lot of fun activities. I watched some great movies. I reconnected with people that I hadn't seen in a long time. I tried cold water immersion, like ice baths for the first time, and realized that even though they're very uncomfortable, I love them. I did a better job of not just working or musing about my past or my future, but really investing in the present day. And more often than not, I ended each day with a sense of peace and self-satisfaction that I had not felt in a long, long time.